Hello, and welcome to the explanation video of From Earth. Even though I've included an IPA chart of the sounds that the singers will be making in the performance notes, I would like to demonstrate them as to articulate exactly what I want from the sounds. As you can see in the IPA chart, I've included some extra consonants and vowels. Now this may seem superfluous at first, but it's to help the singers understand what they should be holding. So let's take an example such as so that S and the two O's. Now we don't want the singer to think that they should be holding the S more, so what we want is the U to be held. So it should sound like this. So that's why it may seem extra, but it's really to let the singers know what they should be holding by adding these extra consonants and vowels. This should be pronounced as sh, and with the mouth modifications should be sh. This should be pronounced as su, and with the mouth modifications should be su. This should be pronounced as tu. With the mouth modifications it should be tu. This should be pronounced as ch, and with the mouth modifications should be ch. This should be pronounced as ha, and with mouth modifications should sound like this. This should be pronounced as ts, and with the mouth modifications should sound like this. This should be pronounced as f, and with the mouth modifications should sound as such. This should be pronounced as wh, and with the mouth modifications should sound like this. This should be pronounced psh, and with the mouth modifications should sound like this. I also want to go over the clarification section in the program notes. When I use the word speed in the score, I'm referring to the closed and open position of the singer's mouth while making one of the sounds. Let's take the sound sh, for instance. So, a singer, without any disruption in the sound from openness to closed, there would never be a sh. It will never be disrupted like that. It should always be a smooth back and forth from closed to open, as such. But the rates will differ from singer to singer. When I use the word length in the score, I'm referring to the duration of the noise that the singer is making. It will vary from singer to singer. Next, I would like to talk about the layering in between the singing and the noises. The singing should always be in the foreground while the noises are in the background, still audible, but are clearly in the background, with the exceptions of measure 151 through 156, where the sounds start to overcome the tenors. As you've seen from looking at this score, there are quite a few measures where there are no rests. These empty measures are meant to represent that there should be noise going on of some kind. And if you see a measure that does have a rest, treat it like any other normal piece of music and make sure that there is silence. In sections that have two noises, both should be occurring from one singer. So let's take ha and ts, for example. The singer should not just stick with ha or just ts. They should do a mixture of both. The only section when three noises are supposed to be going on is when a whistle gliss is included, which sounds like this. We all know what a whistle gliss sounds like. I thought I would demonstrate just to be clear. So, with that, you don't need everyone doing the whistle gliss. It will get annoying and we don't want that. So, depending on the size of your ensemble, I would recommend that you take the discretion and whichever sounds the best to you, but my advice, I would say a small ensemble probably needs just one person doing the whistle, medium ensemble, 2 or 3, and then a larger ensemble would be about 3 or 4 people doing that whistle. So they would do all 3 sounds, but everyone else would just do 2 sounds during that section. And it would be up to you as the director to designate who would be doing those glosses. In terms of the staging arrangement for this piece, I like to ask for something very specific. With the noises happening in this piece, it creates something very special with the soundscape. And what we don't want with this piece is to have this kind of mono effect in our ears. We don't want it where choir 1 is singing over here and choir 2 is making these weird sounds. And then when they switch, it feels like it's just going back and forth between our ears. What we want is a more kind of stereo sound. So when the audience will hear it across the board as a whole sound. So I would recommend, let's say your choir has 4 rows, I would recommend that the first choir is in the first 2 rows, and then the second choir is in the back 2 rows. So that way, it's more of when a choir is singing here, this comes along with it. It's not this back and forth or anything like that. It's this kind of trading on and off more, and that's how we want to hear it. And when the choirs do come together, it really makes it more powerful. So that's what I would recommend. And even if you have 2 rows in your choir, just 1 row is choir 1 row is choir 2, but find a way to make that work. And I know each ensemble is unique and different, so try and acknowledge this as much as you can. It will really help with the aesthetic of the piece, but do what you can with it. I truly hope that you're enjoying working on this piece and taking these noises and turning them into a unique soundscape. If you're looking for more material of mine, always feel free to check out www.loganlarsonmusic.com.